Hey everybody, welcome to another session on the mat here with Down Pilates. Today it's all about the core. So we talk a lot about our centre, our core, our obliques, and that is all we are focusing on today. So get ready to burn. Okay, ready to get started? Good, come on over. We're going to start just sitting back towards the heels. If this doesn't feel good for you, just adapt the position. You can even maybe just do some standing roll downs here if you don't want to be sitting back on the heels. But we're going to start just by connecting down through the shins into the mat and just breathe length into your spine. Give the shoulders a little roll, drawing them down towards the back pockets. Just lengthening up through the crown of the head. Breathing in as you zip and hollow. Just nodding the head, and then as you exhale, we're just going to round forward. Try not to compromise the connection of the hips to the heels here. Knees are hip distance apart, and then we're going to lift up into our 4-point kneeling position, and from there up into our cat. Really nice flexion of the spine, tucking the tail, just let the head drop, lengthening back out of your cat. Pressing the hips back to the heels. And then using your core, so keep your hands light on the mat, just rounding the spine, uncurling the spine, coming back up to seated. We're going to do another 3 of those. Breathing in, nod the head. Breathing out, rounding forward. Breathing in, lifting to your 4-point quadruped position. Exhale up into that flexion. Inhale to release. Exhale to press back. Inhale to uncurl. Let that breath go. 2 more. Just start to focus on the fluidity of the movement. Just moving from one position to the next, using the breath to guide the movement. Okay, let's take 1 more. To seated. We're going to set up for, let's just say, a lot of rollback variations. So listen to your body as always, take breaks when you need to, adapt the moves to suit you. Remember, number 4 is going to feature a lot, 4 repetitions are going to feature a lot. If 4 is too much, 2 is fine, 1 is fine, just work with the repetitions that feel right for you. But for now, I'm not going to move towards my front of the mat for the rollbacks because I want to be able to extend and draw the legs in, so I'm just going to stick about middle for now. I'm going to bring those feet parallel, hip distance apart, hands behind thighs as always. Let's take a moment just to lengthen the spine, and we're going to start off gently just by focusing on a little bit of flexion and extension in the spine, then a little bit of pelvic tilts, and then from there we're going to go into our rollback sequence. So take a nice deep breath in at the top. And let's come into a flexion. So as you exhale, we're going to keep the sit bones anchored, so no movement in the pelvis, but just really scoop and hollow the abdominals. Take the elbows wide, let the head drop down towards the knees. And then coming back up, lift and lengthening the spine. And if you want to, if you're happy to, just let your heart lift a little, coming into that slight extension. If it doesn't feel right in the mid-back, just stop at neutral. I'm going to do that 3 more times. So as you flex, elbows go wide, head drops. Think about trying to pull your skin, I said this the other day, in and up. And then lift the heart. 2 more. Let's add the breath. Inhale. And exhale. So just find that long spine position again. And we're going to just take some pelvic tilts here. So we're not going to go into our full roll back. I just want you to think about really scooping in and up and trying to pull that pubic bone up towards the belly button as you pull the belly button in towards the spine. And then release. I'm going to do 3 more like that. Scoop. And release. Okay, the last one. Alright, and then let's reach the arms out in front and we're going to start to do some roll down. So not too far, we're going to roll off the back, or roll off the sit bones onto the back of the pelvis. Maybe towards the low back, just depending on how you're feeling. And then we're going to reach and come forward. You're going to round over those knees, and as you do so, just let your legs straighten. And let the hands land wherever they do with the legs. And then reach as you come up. We're going to slide 1 foot, 2 foot, and go again, right. Rounding forward, straightening the legs, taking that little spine stretch, releasing up to that straight spine, sliding in and release. We've got 2 more. So I'm not taking a pause, I'm just letting the movement flow a little bit more. So today's workout is good news if you're feeling a little bit stiff and tight in the hamstrings like I am. I'm out with friends on what I thought was a gentle bike ride yesterday and ended up 40 kilometers later. So I'm kind of glad that the only thing I've got to worry about today, specifically, is the abdominals. Take it up and slide and slide. I have a funny feeling it might hit me a little bit more tomorrow. Okay, we're going to add in a little bit of rotation. So I want you to stay in this position. We're actually going to shift a little bit further forward so that when we do eventually finish our roll backs, we can lie down on the floor. So just find length in your spine, and then I want you to think about rotating the torso towards the right. I'm going to bring my left hand to the outside and my right hand to the outside. So you can use the hands on the leg to deepen the rotation. Just watch, you want to push the leg into the hands, because otherwise what will happen is the knee will fall in and we'll move out of alignment. So just focus on that alignment the whole time. I'm going to stay in this right rotation and take it into our first roll back. And drawing back up, lifting tall. You might need to remind yourself each time to just keep that alignment with the legs. And I'm actually going to change the breath slightly. I'm going to inhale as I go back. And exhale as I come up. So you're really working into those oblique muscles. Think about wrapping those muscles round from the left side. One more time. Good, and then just release to center. We're going to do that all on the left. So rotate, think about wrapping round, pulling that skin round, and take it back. Three more. Inhale back. So I need to go back to that sticking point and then maybe a little bit further. Just notice how each side feels. I feel like I've got a little bit more room to move on this left side than I did on the right. This is our last one. Up. And just come through centered. Let the knees fall wide, hands to shins, just drop the head. Take a little breather for a second or two. We're going to go into our next set. So coming back up. Let's take the arms out in front. Lengthen the spine. And we're going to do a similar movement, but we're not going to have the arms to help us this time. So you're going to rotate to the right and take it back. Exhale as you come up. And again, 3 more. 2. And 1. Take it to center and inhale back. Exhale up. 3 more. We get the left to go, rotate, wrapping round and lower. So I know we were talking about the center and how tough this class is going to be, but what you might be feeling now are those hip flexors, yeah? Me too. Remember, as we take our breaks, you might want to just stretch the legs out long. Oh, 1 more. Or you can take a little stretch in between and come back in when you're ready. Come back through center, knees wide, or take this opportunity to take the legs straight and just round forward. Okay, 6 minutes left, that's okay. Do another. Where am I going next? Sorry, you can edit this bit out, Richard. Alright, sticking with the rollbacks, sitting up tall, let's reach those arms in front. I'm going to add a little bit of an external rotation and then take it back. Hold your roll back, really scoop and hollow, and we're going to reach the arms out to a T and in and out and in. Good, 2 more. And in. Rounding up. Let's release the rotation, breath in. Exhale, take it back again. Same move, but without the rotation. Arms to T. And in. And in. Hold that torso. Last one. Oh, and release. Take the legs straight this time and reach. Alright, enough rest. Back in, back to the position. We're going to add some rotation again and repeat that T with the rotation. So let's take the rotation to the right, core is engaged. roll it back. Open that arm behind, see if you can tap the floor and twist a little bit further. Reach and release. Again. And we're going to do 4 each side, so 2 more. Wrapping around from those left obliques. Really shaping the waist in today's session. And up, come through center. Let's take it to the left. And roll. Reach. Remember, you might not be going as far back as me, or you might want to go further. Work with how your body is feeling. Notice the difference from one side to the other. Last one. Draw it up. Come to center. One last set of rollbacks. That's the good news. Breathing in. Exhale, take it back. Bring the arms up and over to the left. Sweeping up and over. So that would be my left. And again, sweeping. So sweeping from side to side. Big rainbow movements with the arms. Sweep. And sweep. Oh, we go one more each side. Sweep. And sweep. Bring the arms up. Reach them in front and slowly control as slow as you can. That release to the floor. Well done. All right, we're going to set up for some well-earned bridges. Just a couple before we get back into the work. Arms by your side. Feet in nice and close. Find that neutral pelvis. And really focus on your pelvic tilt going into this bridge, because in our next section of work we're going to really focus on that neutral start position into posterior tilt and back to neutral again. So have that in mind as you take your posterior tilt here. Breathing in, tilting the pelvis back, imprinting the low back. Exhale as you come up. We're just going to take a couple of breaths in our bridges here. So holding strong. Press down with those triceps. 3 breaths. Remember, we can really work here by actively drawing the heels towards the hips. And think about pressing the pelvis towards the knees. Feel those quads engage. One more breath. And on the exhale, let's start to slowly release in sequence, curling the spine back to neutral. And let's take another one. Inhale to imprint, posterior tilt, scooping, pulling that skin in and up. Exhale it up. Hold it at the top, 3 breaths. And just bring your awareness into your body. Don't just hang out up here. Think of the muscles that you're engaging. Think of activating and engaging. Ready on that exhale to release. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Back. Down to the floor. Good. And let's bring the feet in and the knees together, and just be aware of your position on the floor. Be aware of that neutral spine position. Front ribs knitted together, back ribs heavy. Inhale the arms overhead, and then just lace the fingers. Bend at the elbows. And just support the head in the hands. So you want the head to just fall heavy into the hammock that your laced fingers hands are creating for your head. So with that taken care of, we can really focus on those abdominal muscles. So let's keep the elbows in your peripheral vision. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale for your chest lift. Inhale as you release. We have 2 more. Alright, so from here, when you make a slight adjustment, so we're going to adjust our pelvis from that neutral position into a posterior tilt. So think about really scooping in and up, pulling the pubic bone up towards the belly button and imprinting the spine. So just like we do at the start of our bridge, and you're going to keep that posterior tilt in the pelvis as we do some curl-ups, and just notice the difference. Breath in, keeping that posterior tilt, exhale. So you're going to really feel this a lot more in the low abdominals than you did when we had the pelvis in neutral. I hope. We've got to fight to keep that posterior tilt. And just make sure you're not just pushing into the floor with the feet. So you want to be controlling and holding it from those low abdominal muscles. And good. Let's go up this time. We're going to stay up. And from here, you're going to release to your neutral. Back to your posterior. So those little pelvic curls that we were doing seated at the warm-up. Back to neutral. Back to posterior. Oh, 2 more. Back to neutral. Back to posterior. 1 more. Back to neutral. Back to posterior. Slowly keep that posterior tilt as you release, and then release the pelvis. Release the hands and bring them back by your side. Alright, so we're going to bring those obliques back into play. So you can decide, we're going to have one leg in tabletop. I'm going to start with the right leg. So you can decide whether you want to keep the left leg, left foot on the floor for a little bit more support into your lower back, or you can take that left leg along, which is what I'm going to do. So just make sure you've got that core connection first, and then decide where you're going with your supporting leg, and then float. So we're going to take the arms by our side, take a breath, and as you exhale, let's curl it up. Then we're going to rotate the torso, so think about wrapping from that left side, hands to the right thigh, like we did in the rollback. Really important again that you push your knee into your hand to stop the knee coming across the body. So you want to keep that angle of knee over hip. Good, deep rotation. Left hip is anchored down, and we're going to pulse little inch and ridge crunches. Good. I said 8, didn't I? I'm currently on 10, so that must mean we're going to go for 12. One more. Alright, just release the rotation. Come back to your central position. And you're up. Down. Wow. Alright, we're going to do that on the other side. So choose. Remember, you can have that supporting knee bent for a little bit more protection into the low back if you want to. Otherwise, let's float that knee up. Breathing in. Exhale, curl it up. Add that rotation. Push knee into hand to keep that alignment. And let's go for those little end range. 1 inch. from right to left. Keeping that right hip anchored. Halfway there. Two to go. Release back to center. Release down. Good. All right, let's bend both knees. All right, we're going to keep the arms by our side for a moment. And we're going to bring our legs together, bring our knees together. Take a breath. And as you exhale, we're going to float the knees over the hips. Take another breath. And as you exhale, we're going to lift. And just take the hands behind the thighs. Get a little bit more height. And we're going to go back to that posterior and neutral pelvic tilt. So I want you to flex the feet as you take that posterior tilt. So imprinting. And then I want you to point the feet as you release. So looking at me, you mightn't see a lot going on, but I can promise you that it is far in my abdominals. Point to release. What you don't want to see is this, because that just means that your legs are doing the work. So think about that posterior tilt, scooping, and then releasing to neutral. 3 more. Flex as you tilt. Point as you release. Good, we're nearly there. And point. Last one, flex. Oh, and point. Release. Lower. And lower. Okay, whose idea was to do all abs? That would be mine. Feel free to contact me and let me know if there are any body parts that you want me to particularly focus on. I'm always up for that for you. Alright, we're going to do some hip rolls. We'll start off nice and gentle. We're going to keep the knees together. Take the arms away from the body, palms up. And let's just take the knees across to the right. These will feel so good. Left shoulder stays anchored. And then work again as those obliques. Think about pulling those back ribs on the left side down to the mat. So you're pulling down through ribs, low back, pelvis over to the left. Inhale over. Exhale. And again, one more each side. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good job. So you can keep the feet on the floor if you want to take a little bit longer of a break. Otherwise, we're going to float the knees over the hips. Same thing, across. Inhale. It's up to you how much you use the arms here. But remember, if you want to challenge the core more, you want to try and keep the arms lighter. One more each side. Opposite shoulder stays anchored. So you can stay with either of these two variations, otherwise we're just going to take it up one more level. So I'm going to keep the knees bent as I go across. And then I'm going to hold on that left hip, extend the legs and pull back with legs straight. Bend the knees and take it the other way. So going onto my right hip, left shoulder anchored, extend from the hips right out to the tips of the toes and pull back to center. Bend. I'm going to go for one more each side. just draw those knees in. Rest for a second or two. Alright, so we're going to finish this section off with a set of hundreds. So you're going to start, it's entirely up to you. If you want to do your full hundreds with your feet on the floor, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, we're going to break it into 20 beat sections, so 5, with different leg positions. So you're going to start with the knees together and float them up over the hips. Take the arms up to the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale. Curling up into your set position. 20 beats. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it here. V. Knees wide into that butterfly. Externally rotate the hips and pop. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Hold, zip those legs together in a V and pump. 10. Hold, separate into a wide V. Point the toes, pump. 10. Can you lift and curl a little bit higher? Hold, squeeze into that narrow V, flex the feet, drop an inch, last 20. 10. Hold, release the V, float the knees in, float the feet down, bring the arms down, and just take a full body stretch. 3 big deep breaths. And let the arms float back by your side. Alright, so let's just bend the knees. Engage the core. Take a breath in, bring the arms overhead. As you exhale, bring the arms by your side. Look between your knees. If you want, take your hands behind your thighs to help you. Start to extend your legs away and curl your spine up. Little assisted roll up. And then take it back up to seated. Let's bend those knees. I want to try that a couple more times because I know a lot of you find the roll up a real challenge, and this is a great variation. So we're just going to roll the spine down. Start to take the legs long. Bring the arms overhead. Bring the arms up. Bring the feet in. Curl it up and take the legs long and round forward. And up. Okay, so we're going to do a different move that I am not sure that we've ever done in class in this particular style. So it's a hinge back rather than a roll back. So obviously the roll backs that we're so used to doing, we start from the pelvis, we take that posterior tilt, we keep that nice flexion in the spine as we roll back. In our hinge back, it's completely different. So we keep the spine straight. So imagine that you were on almost like a backboard and we hinge from the hips going back. So the spine stays. So you've got to really focus to not let those ribs flare and the chest pop and come back up. So we do our kneeling knee thigh stretch, which is a hinge. So if you think of that, we're going to actually do that after this, but we're going to focus on some hinge backs here. So really targeting the abdominals. So just think about going back as if you were attached to a backboard. What you don't want to do is start to go back just with the head and the shoulders and the upper back, which will cause discomfort in the neck and hurt into the back. So be very, very mindful of just keeping that straight spine, dropping the shoulders. You don't have to go far, breathing in, core engages. Exhale and hinge. Breathing in. Exhale exhale as you come up, pulling up from those low abdominals. Use your core, your pelvic floor. And again, we have 3 more hinges. Neck relaxed. Really pull from those abdominals to come back up. One more. So now we're going to add on a little bit of direction. Hinge back, don't go too far till you see what it feels like. Reach that right arm. Draw back. And draw up. So we're going to do 3 more to the right. Hinge back, doesn't have to be far. As you reach out into that T, keep the spine long. Pull back, spine is long. And up. 2 more. Keep forgetting to set my timer. Oh, last one. I doubt you would all love me much if I carried on and we did this class ran into about an hour and a half instead of an hour. And up. Let's take it to the left this time. Hinge back. Hold. Rotate. Draw back. And draw up. Oh, 3 to go. So you're going to have to constantly, well, I don't know about you, but I have to constantly remind myself that it's a hinge and not a roll back, because my body is comfortable with roll backs. It's used to roll backs, so it almost goes into that flex spine position and tilt in the pelvis without me thinking about it. So I have to really focus on the hinge. Take the knees wide and stretch. And then we take it up. And I'm going to turn to face you. So we're going to go cross-legged for this one. I want you to think about crossing your right leg over your left. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to find that Cossack with the arms. Right arm over left. Just drop the shoulders. Elbows slightly lower than shoulders so we avoid that kind of hunched up position. And we're going into the waist again. I tell you, these waists are going to be tiny by the end of this session. We're going to take it to the right. Rotate. Find your sticking point. Hold that end range and then take little pulses. And just be mindful that the movement is coming from the waist and not from the elbow. Arms stay still. Hold. Take the arms wide. I'm going to do 8 more. 8. 7. Wrapping the skin round. Working through those obliques. 6. 7. 8. Fold back to your Cossack. Come back to center. Release the arms. Release the legs. And change sides. So left over right. Just notice how that feels. It doesn't feel just so great for me. Brings awareness into those hips, all right? And then Cossack left over right. Find length in your spine. Core engaged. Let's add that rotation. Start to rotate to the left. Find that sticking point. End range. Squeeze. Squeeze. Hold. Take the arms wide. 8 more. 8. 3, 2, 1. Come back to Cossack. Come back to center. Bring the hands down. We're going to take the legs out wide. If this doesn't feel good for you, if you want to keep your feet in diamond, that's an option as well here. And we're going to flex the feet. Reach the arms out wide. Externally rotate from those arms, from the shoulders, palms are up. We're going for the rotation again, guys. Back into the waist. Take it to the right. Find that sticking point and squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flex the feet, anchor down with the back of the legs. 8. Back to center. Let's take it the other way. Rotate to the left, find that point and squeeze. Squeeze. 7, 8. Come back to center. Point the toes. Take it to the right for 8. Back to center, anchoring down. Last one to the left for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Release the rotation. Bring the arms in front. Relax the feet. Bring the hands down and just round forward. And then roll up. And round forward. Roll up. 2 more. Just bring the legs together, bend the knees, wrap the arms around the thighs, give yourself a little hug. And then for our last section of work, we're going to come up into kneeling. So we're going to do our hinge that we've just been doing in a kneeling position. So I'm going to turn side on just briefly for you, just to let you have a look. I'm going to rest my hands on my thighs. Again, just think about your back being on a board. So nice long spine lifting out through the crown of the head. We're going to take a slight posterior tilt of the pelvis. So just pulling up those abdominals. Pressing down into the mat with the tops of your feet and with your shins. We inhale as we hinge back. Exhale as you come forward. So join in with me whenever you're ready. Inhale. And exhale. So keeping tight through the core, don't let the ribs flare. Inhale. And exhale. So very strong in the abdominals, but you may also notice it's very strong into those thighs. I'm definitely being reminded of that bike ride yesterday. We've got 4 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Keep tucking that tail, keep that spine long. In. 2 to go. Think about keeping the pelvis over the thigh bones. Last one. Oh, hold it here, take the arms out wide. Let's work into that waist one last time. We're going to aeroplane to the right. And exhale back to center. And again to the right, we're going to stay to the right. Will Melissa get the hand to the floor? That is the question. Maybe on the 4th one. Let's see, as we drop into that side waist, expand into the opposite ribs. One more. I guess it's an arm length kind of thing, isn't it? Oh, so close. Back to center. Let's see what the left feels like. Aeroplane. Oh, a lot tighter. So just again, we talk about it a lot. Be mindful of both sides of the body. Keeping that pelvis, keeping the hips, the pelvis over the thigh bones, just making sure you push the hips back. Spine stays long. Last one. From here, just rotate at the waist, bring the hands to the floor, bring your knees back in underneath your hips. We're going to take ourselves up into front support. So your option is going to be down on your knees here. Either variation is up to you. And whichever variation you're on, we're going to take a leg lift with a 5-second hold. Lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower and switch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower and switch for 5. Last bit of hard work. Keep the form right to the end. Last one. Toes down, knees down. Press back to rest. And just take the arms across to the left and let the hip drift to the right. Stretch up the right side of the body. Come back through center. Take the arms to the right, hips to the left. Back to center. Take it up to 4-point kneeling. Let's find that cat, flexing the spine. Come through neutral. If it feels okay to do so, just come into that extension. Let the abdomen drop. Lift and separate the sit bones and press the sternum forward. And up into your cat. And just let this movement start to flow whatever way feels good for you. Inhale into the cow. Exhale into the cat. If you are able to allow your body to drop into that extension, you'll feel a lovely release in the abdominals as well after all that hard work. Last one. With that flexion in the spine, just press slowly back to heels. Keeping the flexion in the spine. Just rolling slowly back up to where we started. Find length. Take a breath. And let it go. And do 3 more of those. Big breath in. Hold this last one up. Bring the palms together. Lift the heart. Release the heart. Bring the hands down. And we made it. Well done. I hope you enjoyed this session and really look forward to seeing you all again soon. Bye.